How y'all doing? It is Friday, June 3rd, 2022 AD, 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time, streaming on all platforms now, I do believe, including the audio feeds, JLP Live Player, rdo.to/Jesse, rdo.to/JESSE. We have a fun... Shall we have a loosey-goosey Friday show, guys? What do you say? Shout out to Odyssey and everybody. Gonna talk about this Tulsa massacre, not to be confused with the riot from 100 years ago, over a beta back. Fair warning to the beta back people. Get healthy. And also pray and be peaceful. Crazy stuff. There's a lot of people attacking the right, your right to guns around the world. It's so evil. I may talk about this Star Wars mess going on. You know, well, I don't even know if it's going on, but there's this fake racism thing, accusation against Star Wars and other things. You know, abortion is still out of control. The Social Security Administration has a rainbow thing on its logo. What? Makes me want to spit. And other mess. And your calls. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
The Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about the beta backs. There's some beta backs in chat. Hake has a beta back, but we're turning them alpha. And by the way, if it's through no fault of your own, I don't think that counts as beta. But anyway.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Breathing through my nose. Shout out to Linya and Chin. Odyssey people, press 1 if it's working, press 2 if it's not. You know the drill. Or tell me to reset the stream if there's any issues. I am wearing my Mount Baldy t-shirt. Mount Baldy is a famous mountain over here in California, Southern California. Beautiful place. I recommend checking it out. Up north of Upland in San Bernardino County. San Bernardino County. I will be reading your super chats, guys. Excuse me. And again, well, I'm saying again because I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. I mentioned it before the stream. We have a busy Friday, loosey-goosey Friday show. We had The Fallen State, or we have The Fallen State coming up. JLP interviews John Doyle, very cool. Nick's stream on YouTube, always fun, always cool. You can go to anchorbabytips.live. I think, let me try it. Let me see. Indeed, it does go to there. That's one way to super chat, but you can super chat directly through YouTube, I believe. That's cool too. Handy, both. And yesterday, this was fun. I just want to share just a little fun clip with you. JLP and White Chris were both on InfoWars yesterday. Infowars.com with Owen Schroyer. Some people think I look similar to him or something. He may be a little bit stronger, a little bit less of a beta back. I will get to the beta back issue, but when we share this fun clip 11, it's Friday. Let's share this. This is an excerpt from a placeboing. I thought it was placeboing, but it's placeboing, I believe. YouTube channel. They do remixes of different things. And this one is called It's Alex Jones. In this segment, I call I'm a Human. It's a nice song to get you pumped for Friday and the weekend, right? Here it is.
I'm a pioneer. I'm an explorer. I'm a human. And I'm coming.
That's right.
I'm animated. I'm alive. My heart's big. It's got hot blood going through it fast. I'm here. I'm here. This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what we act like. This is what I am. This is what I am. This is what I am. I'm setting fires everywhere. And humans are turning on everywhere. And we're gonna get our metaphysical hands around your stinking necks. Make no mistake, parasites.
Very cool. A living hero. A legend. That is my competitor. You all know that. I don't normally like to play too much of my competitors' stuff or give them too much attention, but he is a friend of America. So he's a friend of the Hake Report, I say. And he's interviewed JLP, and good guy. I have the lyrics on a screenshot from a YouTube comment. Just in case you didn't understand the lyrics, you boomers, some of the I love boomers, you all know this, and they listen to my show, and some of the Gen Xers and even millennials have blown out their ears. The lyrics read, I'm a pioneer, I'm an explorer, I'm a human, and I'm coming. I'm animated, I'm alive, my heart's beating, it's got hot blood running through it fast. Oh, going through it fast. I'm here. I'm here. This is a human. This is what we look like. This is what I act like, what we act like. This is what I am. And he repeats that. Setting fires everywhere, and humans are turning on everywhere. Kind of like waking up, that's cool. And we're going to get our metaphysical hands around your stinking necks. Make no mistake, parasites. So good. I laugh, but it's serious. This is a war. And it's not just an info war. It is a spiritual war. And Alex Jones is a Christian, by the way. Indeed. And I like how he, I got a super chat from Big Bump. Speaking of getting our metaphysical hands around your stinking necks, because we don't endorse undue political violence, obviously. There was another quote from classic AJ, Alex Jones, not to be confused with Anthony Joseph, the guy who made The Hake Report theme song, the original, which you just heard today. I ask you to take up your knives politically and non-violently, is another line purportedly from Alex Jones, relayed by Big Bump. You know the rapper? Big Bump. So, it's not anti-Semitic lyrics, man. No such thing. And speaking of interesting quotes, just a brief little side note here. I saw this in the YouTube, no, not in the YouTube chat, in the live chat on JLP's Odyssey. Is this a real Benjamin Franklin quote? Let me share this. It's a bit of a long quote, but it's interesting. I'm not sure if it is. I think it might be. Looks legitimate. It was shared by Asmodor over there on JLP's Odyssey. Observations concerning the increase of mankind, peopling of countries, etc. Benjamin Franklin, 1751. The quote reads as follows. The number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small, he states. Wow, so that has been going on for a long time. Even according, if this is to be believed, right? All Africa is black or tawny, meaning not white. Asia is chiefly tawny, Tawny, meaning not white, just darkish, dark. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so, wholly tawny. He's talking about the Indians, right? American Indians. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, Maybe he would have pronounced it Italians. I don't know. French, Russians, and Swedes, wow, even the Swedes, are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. Swarthy. As are the Germans also, the Saxons only excepted. Who with the English, the Saxons and Anglos, Saxons who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were increased. Wow. So Benjamin Franklin, too, appreciates and wants more white, or wanted more white babies. I believe he's gone now. Benjamin Franklin. Don't believe he's alive to this day. And while we are, as I may call it, scouring our planet, indeed, that's one way to put it, scouring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making the side of our globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants in Mars or Venus. Why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people? Wow, interesting. Very interesting. Oliver Timms says, Hake trying desperately to prove that gingers have souls. Not as yet convinced. Fair enough. What? Asks Bobby over there on the Facebook crew. Benjamin Franklin died? Germans swarthy? Asks Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Yeah, I didn't know that either, but apparently there may be some truth to that. Let me look up swarthy, because these are outside my normal vocabulary. Swarthy, dark-skinned. Tawny. Let's look at tawny. Define. Let's see. An orange, brown, or yellowish brown color. Ouch. Ouch. Ugh. That would be the Asiatic people who were in America when we started to take over. And the Asians. Interesting. I knew a friend whose sister was named Tawny. Interesting, huh? Wow. Crazy stuff. Well, that's just a little introduction to new ideas for you, hopefully new ideas, or a decent reminder of decent ideas. How about? I will be reading your super chats, guys, and taking your calls. You can call in 888-775-3773. I would like to cover this Tulsa massacre. I don't normally cover these things in this type of detail, but it's kind of interesting because it's beta back related. The Tulsa massacre, not the riot, because it was not a Tulsa race massacre. It was a Tulsa race riot, okay? That was 100 years ago plus. But the far left Twitter reported, this is a publisher, not a platform. They don't allow free speech or true speech. 5 dead, including the suspect, after the shooting at a Tulsa medical facility. I'm chuckling because Biden needs to do something about the beta backs, says Nick. And by the way, okay, I will be reading more of your super chats, guys. Let me share this clip 12 from the far left Reuters. At least 4 people dead. Killed, basically, murdered. Allegedly, after a man armed with a rifle and a handgun, a male, not a man, opened fire inside a medical building in Tulsa, Oklahoma before fatally shooting himself. Here's the little report from Reuters. Far left Reuters.
Several people were killed in a shooting spree at a medical building in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Wednesday, the latest in a series of recent mass shootings to rock the United States. Local police said the gunman, who was armed with a rifle and a handgun, also fatally shot himself. The suspect's identity and possible motives are so far unclear. Tulsa Deputy Police Chief ERICK said police arrived on site at St. Francis Hospital 3 minutes after receiving a call about the shooting. They made contact with the victims and suspect 5 minutes later.
At 16:52, 4:52 hours, our dispatch received a call of an active shooter at the Natalie Medical Building at 6457 South Yale Avenue. We had officers arrive at the location at 4:56, so a 3-minute response time, and made contact with victims and the suspect at 5:01, and that was them making their way to the second floor. The officers that did arrive were hearing shots in the building, and that's what directed them to the second floor.
Police responses have come under increased scrutiny after a man gunned down 19 children and 2 teachers in a Uvalde, Texas school classroom last week, while officers waited outside for nearly an hour. Recent mass shootings have also reignited debates around gun control in the country.
Here's the propaganda.
The incident in Uvalde came 2 weeks after another in Buffalo, New York, where a white gunman killed 10 people at a supermarket in a black neighborhood.
It's pronounced white, buddy. Why does this reporter sound... to me, he sounds like a foreigner. These far-left Reuters, enemies of America people. So subversive with their so-called reporting. But anyway, the far-left extreme outlet, Daily Beast reported Michael Lewis. And at first they called it Michelet Lewis. M-I-C, or Michelet, I don't know, Michelet. Is it a French name? Was he a French black? This suspect who allegedly shot and killed the people, the couple of doctors and a receptionist and either a patient or a friend of the patient, a companion of the patient, I don't know. Michael Lewis, Michelet Lewis, and he looks kind of foreignish or crazy or both, I don't know. Definitely crazy, complained to this surgeon, Dr. Preston Phillips, and then bought a gun hours before his Tulsa hospital massacre. And this article has, look at that face. Look at those wild eyes. That's as bad as Cortez. You know, Sandy Cortez, Sanpaku eyes. What's that mean? Crazy, huh? That is, yeah, crazy eyes. Indeed. Those are crazy eyes. 45-year-old Michael Lewis. He only has 5 years on me. Yikes, I got 5 years to get my beta back in order. I don't want surgery. The shocking attack at a medical center. His niece, says that he left a note explaining his motive, by the way. This guy's niece. His family is, like, distancing themselves from this guy, disowning him. Understandably so. Dr. Preston Phillips, black, surgeon. He was the official trainer, by the way, of the Tulsa Shock basketball team. Ever heard of the Tulsa Shock basketball team? And this was at St. Francis, which is a religious medical facility, hospital type place. You know, I was speculating, and you may have heard on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, Chris mentioned it. Was he an affirmative action guy? Was he really a capable? I heard that he was a caring physician. You know, but I wonder if he has any fault in how he dealt with this patient. Or if the patient was just an evil person, angry, evil person, who this doctor did his best, and, you know, human error. You never know. But I do wonder if he failed his patient. Obviously, it doesn't justify the murder. Don't murder, guys. Don't murder, don't commit suicide. Duh. I have some pictures of the other victims. I never really show victims pictures, but I did see pictures. Oh, yeah, of those kids that got killed over in Texas. I saw the pictures. Aw, cute little kids. Cute little brown kids. Americans, though, supposedly. William Love was on the second floor as supposedly a patient, or maybe he was accompanying somebody as a patient. I think he was a military veteran, Army veteran, a first sergeant, old dude, old white dude. I thought he was accompanying somebody. And I thought I read from Beta Legs, who says that he read, was it Beta Legs who said this? That this man, William Love, who was murdered, was holding the door open so that people could escape. And then he himself got killed. a hero, if true, right? And then this Stephanie Hussein, blonde, I don't know if that's a natural blonde, but a white lady, purportedly white, a doctor, I believe, also murdered. Allegedly murdered, right? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe this was all a self-defense situation, misunderstanding. Nah, it was a murder. Amanda Glenn was the lady who was a receptionist there. Crazy, huh? You go into work, and then you get killed. Pretty trippy. Well, anyway, rest in peace, everybody. But let me share with you the beta backstory. This is he was Haitian. Okay, that makes sense. Big Bump is telling me that the Tulsa gunman was Haitian, according to him. And he doesn't normally lead me astray. Let me play clip 13A here, I think. This is from the black police chief of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wendell Franklin. Here he is telling, the information about what happened. The wife called the police on the suspect. I guess the suspect called the wife saying what he just did or what he was about to do or something. Here it is. Listen to this.
We received a call from the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, and that dispatcher told us a woman on the line whose name they did not have called saying that her husband had killed several people at Dr. Phillips' office. This would have been a half hour after the event occurred. We have also found a letter on the suspect which made it clear that he came in with the intent to kill Dr. Phillips and anyone who got in his way. He blamed Dr. Phillips for the ongoing pain following the surgery.
Crazy, huh? Let me play clip B to tell more of how this whole mess went down. Here it is.
On May 19th, Michael Lewis went into the hospital for a back surgery. The performing physician was Dr. Preston Phillips. Mr. Lewis was released on 5/24, May the 24th. After release, Lewis called several times over several days, complaining of pain and wanted additional treatment. On May 31st, Dr. Phillips saw Mr. Lewis again for additional treatment. Yesterday, June the 1st, Lewis called Dr. Phillips' office again, complaining of back pain and wanting additional assistance. At 2 p.m. on June the 1st, Mr. Lewis purchased a semi-automatic rifle from a local gun store. That semi-automatic rifle was an AR-15 style rifle. We know that Mr. Lewis purchased a semi-automatic handgun, a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson pistol, on May the 29th from a local pawn shop. We have also found a letter on the suspect which made it clear that he came in with the intent to kill Dr. Phillips and anyone who got in his way. He blamed Dr. Phillips for the ongoing pain following the surgery.
Man, you ever been in so much pain you wanted to shoot somebody? I don't know if I have. I don't think I have. What a shame. There's another beta back offender. Just last year, this guy named Gregory Ulrich. Up in Buffalo, there was another mass shooting in Buffalo just last year at Alena Clinic. Another violent male with a beta back. And he looked white, by the way. He was found guilty on all 11 counts, including first-degree premeditated murder. I think he claimed that he was just shooting to make a statement, to raise awareness about how his back was in pain. Gregory Ulrich. February 2021, a mass shooting. He killed one and injured many others, I think. It was a mess. In Buffalo, New York, not to be confused with the Buffalo grocery store shooting by the white eco-fascist. Was he an eco-fascist? The guy who shot up the grocery store just the other day? What a mess. What did this guy have to say for himself? Ulrich, this Gregory Ulrich guy in this other story, was the only witness called to testify by the defense team on this particular day that was reported back last year. The prosecution okay, let me see. Crazy. Frontline workers. Oh gosh, I hate that line. Don't be kissing up to these people. So what happened was his intent was, okay, come on. There was a video clip of Ulrich saying, "I'm going to rescue all senior citizens." And he was talking about how physically painful it is getting old, and saying anyone over the age of 80 should get leniency when it comes to prescribing narcotics. He was for drugging the elderly. Pain causes people to be violent. Prosecutors quoted the defendant as having said, underlying their assertion that Ulrich cared nothing for his victims. Duh. When he walked into the clinic and carried out his attack, he only cared about himself. Nobody else that day, said the prosecutors. Duh. Isn't that everybody? Pretty much. The defense said that this Ulrich guy confessed to what he did during a 911 call. And he talked about bombs and told someone in the clinic where to stand so they wouldn't get hurt. And he helped to orchestrate his own arrest. Good for him, right? Go in, do damage, and then surrender. He didn't mean to commit murder. He just draw attention to his suffering. Man, what a messed up mind, huh? Get your mind right and your back straight. As Lin Yun Chin says, I'm laughing, but it's a mess. It is kind of funny, though, even though there's a lot of evil going on. Spinal alignment. Spinal alignment. Yeah, the Washington Compost. Let me read a few super chats, guys. And then I'll get to the evil people going after the guns in the name of this case and other things. Nicolas shares a Washington Compost quote of this Peyton Gendron, the 18-year-old white who shot up the grocery store, the black grocery store. I would prefer to call myself a populist, he wrote. Okay, all right. But you can call me an ethno-nationalist eco-fascist. What a mess. What a mess. No, I don't pretend to support Trump. There was something else Chris said over here about the Ben Franklin quote. More surprised about the Swede comment, that the Swedes are swarthy. Yeah, Swedes I don't think of as swarthy, but maybe a couple hundred years ago or more, there may have been an issue. I do know that up in Sweden, there are a lot of Muslims in Sweden today. I don't know if it was happening back then. I know they had issues with the Muslims even back then. The Barbary pirates or something like that? Is that true? Don't know. Maze, TKR, biggest fan. Wow, Maze? Biggest fan of the crypto report? Did Mays tune into Hake appearance on Asmodor over there a couple Saturdays ago? Or a Saturday ago? I think it might have been just last Saturday. Tomorrow, June 4th, says Mays, TKR biggest fan, will be a full year since James's second favorite caller, Baby Farrakhan, Mr. Earl from Michigan. Oh! Man, I haven't said that in a while. Oh! Has been accepted on air. May the AC blow cool wherever you reside now, big guy. That is kind. A salute to my second favorite caller, Earl from Michigan. What a mess. I remember your girlfriend used to call in as a fake Earl and imitate him. Pretty good impersonations, I would say. John WX25 states, next time you're on with that homophile, I presume he's talking about Vaush or Vosh, or maybe he's talking about somebody else. Who else did I debate recently? Don't let him off the hook about his MAP friends. MAP. Minor attracted persons, right? They call them MAPs. They are homophiles just like him. Tried to play dumb, but knows they're part of his alphabet freak show, says John WX25. I think he's actually talking about not Vosh, but what's that guy's name? I debated him. Jangles. Jangles, I debated him today. I mean, not today, this week. That's what I meant. Hey, don't be plugging people on your show. Yeah, I know. Such as my competitors. But sometimes they make for good content, right? I think that is everything. Let me just double check over here. Oh, Beta Leg says, my legs are beta because I crushed my beta spinal cord. Yikes. So technically I'm a beta back. I don't know, man. Were you just not paying attention and that's how you became incapacitated down on your legs? Paralyzed from the waist down or whatever? Or the legs down? I don't know if that counts as beta, man. I'm beta back because I just didn't exercise and stretch. Get enough sleep and eat properly and everything else, right? Esoteric says, luckily my beta back has been better since I started to sleep on my back more with a bunch of pillows to be more upright. Wow. Yeah, I do. I have a pillow underneath my knees. I hear that helps. I don't know. And I sleep on the floor. I've been sleeping on the floor for more than a year or two. Yeah. No, Earl, I don't know if he's dead or alive. I do not know. Anyway, let me get to this phony woman before I get to calls here. Cackling Kamala Harris. Clip 14. This is from MSLSD. MSDNC, as Trump calls it. LSD is the hat tip to Mark Levin. No more excuses. Thoughts and prayers are important, but not enough. We need Why am I talking like that? We need Congress to act. It's hard to imitate cackling Kamala Harris, at least for me. This is her on Thursday after the Tulsa shooting, talking about the Tulsa massacre. Counts as a massacre, right? Even though only 4 or 5 people were killed. Only. Here is cackling Kamala Harris with her squeaky voice, pretending like she's a leader. So sick. Nasty. Get ready to spit.
4 innocent people lost their lives, and many more were injured. We, of course, all of us hold the people of Tulsa in our hearts, but we also reaffirm our commitment to passing common sense gun safety laws.
Evil woman. Where is she? Oh, at the White House or something? Who's clapping? Who would be clapping at
And
that?
I don't have to tell anybody in this room, but President Biden has taken more executive action to combat gun violence than any other president at this point in their administration. But we cannot, as an administration or those of us who are here, address this alone. No more excuses.
Look at her blazer.
Thoughts and prayers are important, but not enough. We need Congress to act. And so with that, I will turn to the topic at hand, but I know that we all feel similarly about the importance of leaders leading on issues like this.
Don't point at yourself. You're not a leader, woman. We hold them in our hearts. You have no heart. Or your heart's evil. She's trying not to laugh. If you looked at her, I think she was reading. Because I saw her, you know, when people are looking at teleprompters and reading, there's a teleprompter over here, she looks. There may be a teleprompter here, she looks. I'm looking to the right, looking to the center, and then looking to the left. That's how people, you know, you see Trump, he's reading when he's going like this and going like this, and you can tell he's reading. Although even Trump reading comes off more sincere than cackling Kamala Harris speaking off the cuff. But I think she would be mumbling and stumbling more. But I could be mistaken. Where's her mask? Yeah, this... And her, like, squeak... I know I have what may be described as a bit of a nasally tone to my voice. I know that. But this woman's voice, she has no authority. Chris has brought this up before. These women, they have no physical imposing or commandingness to their... He didn't say it like that. He's spoken English, proper English. But to their voice, they have no natural authority. That's the longest she's gone without cackling during a press conference, is Costin. I am shaking my head. What a sick woman. There was this, you know, there's endless attacks on the rights of the people to own and carry capable guns. Right? There was this lame Quartz article that I put the headline in the Tulsa Hospital Massacre folder. AMA, the American Medical Association. You know these liberal doctors. They give all of this propaganda to. They're a bunch of dumb... Sorry, kids, I keep on saying dumb. And somebody else told me to say screwed up instead of dumb, but don't you know that that's kind of not actually clean? I mean, I was told that that's a bad word too by one of my cousins. But anyway... But thank you. Appreciate the attempt to expand my vocabulary. Look at this lame Quartz article by a woman, Annalisa Merelli. What is that, an Italian? Not a normal Italian. The American Medical Association decries gun violence, no such thing, but finances pro-gun candidates. What kind of lame, evil gotcha, liberal media gotcha is this? So, I didn't know that the AMA, American Medical Association, a liberal, the most influential medical lobbying group in the United States, along with other prominent health organizations, has recognized, anyway, they said uncontrolled ownership and use of firearms, especially handguns, is a serious threat to the public's health inasmuch as the weapons are one of the main causes of intentional and unintentional injuries and deaths. That's not a health, it's not the public health. I want to say stupid, but I want to be a good example to the kids. So that the parents let the kids keep on listening to Hake. But isn't that a ridiculous quote? I almost said dumb. American Medical Association, but whom do they support who's supposedly pro-gun as far as candidates go? The AMA. Congressional candidates against so-called gun control, which increases violent crime. You know, in some of these places that disarmed the citizens, home invasions out of control. Home invasions go down. This is just a side note. It's secondary to the basic right. You don't have to have a reason, basically, to defend your right to own a capable gun with lots of rounds, capacity, whether clips or magazines. In like, I forget whether it was Detroit or somewhere else in Michigan or somewhere up there, there was crazy break-ins, home invasions, but they went down when a few of them got killed. Few of the home invaders got killed by the homeowners, shot. Sometimes all it takes is a rack your shotgun. Buy a shotgun. Buy a shotgun, said Sleepy Joe, which isn't entirely which isn't entirely bad advice, right? No, that's part is good advice. Just don't fire a couple of rounds in the air. Sleepy Joe Biden. I mean, you can, but make sure you're in a place where you don't get in trouble for such things. But anyway, it was a lame gotcha thing. As if it's a scapegoating. I've said this on the shows before. It's a scapegoating of the NRA, the American people who are pro-gun, the so-called gun nuts, the gun nerds, as they were called on Hippy Dippy Roundtable, and other stuff. And here's this, I want to say stupid, mayor, according to Axios, another little headline here, with his goofy afro, clown-looking afro, Baltimore lawsuit against ghost gun maker Polymer 80. Facing a lawsuit accused of causing a public health crisis. Guns have nothing to do with your health. You get shot, it's not because you're sick. You get injured, not because you're sick. You got injured. It's not health. Dumb liberal doctors notwithstanding who have to treat these people. We need sensible, manly doctors again. This joke of a so-called mayor, Brandon Scott. Look at this guy. Zoom in on that hair and face and snarky, arrogant. How is this guy mayor of... I mean, there was a black female mayor who's just as ridiculous of Baltimore, I believe. Goofy clown afro announced per a statement that they're suing the gun gun maker Polymer 80 ghost gun. That ghost guns, if you don't know, you make an upper for an AR type of a thing, right? Something like that. They're 3D printed or whatever with plastic, and then and then you can assemble your own gun. It's cool. Because the government wants to document and track the decent people, thinking that along with the criminals. It's sick. They don't actually, it's a control freak thing. It's mama mindset. Micromanaging and meddling in people's affairs. Spying on the American people as though we're the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. And I'm so tempted to quote Alex Jones about metaphysical hands around stinking necks and make no mistake, parasites, but I think I'll control myself. So it's sick. It's sick. There's other stuff going on. Yesterday, Susan Collins was trending on. Man, I should get to a call. I'll skip Susan Collins for now, guys. It's almost 45 after. Let me get to Eric in Selma, Alabama. Eric, thank you for calling, man. How are you doing?
Hake, the great one.
Hey.
What's up with you, man? I was calling to shout you out on your debate, man. I checked you out. You are now the debate king. President Trump, the MAGA king. You are the debate king. And behold, the greater than President Trump is here. It is he, Hake the great one, man. Shout out to you, man. You on fire, man.
I appreciate that.
And lately I've been, working a lot, but now I'm on night shifts now. They switched me to night shifts, so I can catch the shows, Jesse Lee and, you and Nick now more.
Wow, that's cool.
They switched me to night shift, so I'll be working 16 hours, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning. So
wow,
getting that money, man. Yesterday I bought me a new car for my hard work, man. So
congratulations.
Yeah, all is well. I'm still taking it a day at a time.
Yeah.
The good days like the bad days like the good, because it's all the same. And
right.
I also wanted to comment on this political rhetoric with the gun violence stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that people kill people, not guns.
Right.
But a lot
true.
of these, I don't know how true this is, but me personally, a lot of this spree of the mass shootings that's been going on, I think the government may be part behind it because they doing this to politicize it and
Right.
come for the weapons, the Second Amendment, which they can't take our guns away from us. But, man, the country's going to hell in a handbasket, man.
Yeah. You know, you remind me of a story of a point that Troy, I think, in church with Jesse Lee Peterson said about they can't take your guns away. They can try, though. They tried to. I don't know if you remember this story. Not to remember what you were going to get to. Remember your point. But there was a story where this. Oh, I mentioned it earlier this week, where this older man in his probably 60s maybe. He got a red flag law type of situation called on him, and a judge approved apparently for the cops to come to his house and take away his Second Amendment, his guns, because he was deemed to be possibly crazy and possibly a threat to himself or others. But he refused to give up his guns, and he got in some sort of scuffle or fight with police, or maybe even pointed a gun at the cops, and he got himself shot and killed. So if they show up at your door, stay clear-minded. God forbid they show up at your door, you know, but just a little warning out there. This evil can and does happen even in America. And so be wary, always.
Yeah.
Now, don't be
And then
afraid. Don't be afraid, but yeah.
The ATF, I tried to get a new pistol
Uh-huh.
like 2 weeks ago. I tried to go get a new pistol from this gun place that sell guns, and the ATF denied me from getting weapons. I'm not even a felon.
Wow.
So I go to the sheriff department. I ask them, why am I denied? They tell me the ATF denies you. So I called the ATF. They got me on hold an hour and something. So I hung up the phone, man. So I'm trying to figure out why they deny me from getting more weapons. I
Yeah.
don't understand it, man. Maybe because I'm a registered Republican or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
That is so
man.
crazy
Yeah,
that
that's
I
crazy.
thought,
I'm not a felon.
right. I thought that and the felon situation, I'm not even sure that that's legitimate. I'm not even sure that it's legitimate to disarm the felons. If you're, somebody in my chat made the point that if you're too dangerous to own a gun in the free world, you're too dangerous to be free. Maybe you should be behind bars if you're deemed too dangerous to be, you know. But otherwise, the people who have served their time, this is something that I argue personally. The people who've served their time and gotten out, they have their American right, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, I believe that too.
But no,
I ain't
they're
gonna hold you
infringing
up.
on the right to keep and bear arms. Carry.
Yeah.
Bear means carry. It's not just bear arms.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna hold you up though, Hake. I was just, last but not least, just drop a few shout outs to my people in the YouTube chat, Blazing HAWGS.
Nice.
All the Lords, Lord Lippity Bibby. I see Get a Job in the YouTube chat. Shout out Get a Job.
Yeah.
I seen Jesse Lee Peterson because of him. Shout out to him.
Nice.
Vanna Spencer, everybody in the YouTube chat. Raymond 11, everybody. Shout out to everybody, man. Have a great day, y'all.
Thank you. You too, King Drop. ERICK, take care.
Yes, sir.
All right. Wow. I'm shaking my head at this evil in the world. Let me get to Art in Ohio. Art, how are you doing?
Well, how you doing, Hake?
Doing fine, thank you.
Man, first thing first, man. What's up with my main man, Hake?
Just hanging out, having a fun Friday show.
So you said to another caller earlier, you said, what you say? You said, man, you said he was out of line.
Possibly. I forget. Was this like yesterday or something? Or
No,
this
it was
week?
Earl. It was like two stories back. You were saying somebody was out of line for something.
Oh. About a caller?
Okay. Yeah, something you said they was out of line about, and I was just like, man, that man Hake is sounding more and more like Art Baby from Ohio.
Nice.
Just proud of you, man. Just proud of you. Then I want to ask you a couple other things or whatnot, just like what the dude was just saying about the with the guns or whatnot. I noticed there's something, they try to either get you felonies or they try to hem you up in these domestic violence cases or stuff like that, allegedly. Because, you know, when you go into these courts or whatnot, they give you a public defender, and the first thing that you're thinking is like, well, I'm not about to keep coming down here back to back, month after month, fighting this case. I just go ahead and just cop out to this little charge so I can go ahead and pay these fines so I can go out here and keep working my job. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of people out here running around where they can't get these dang on guns because they have domestic violence cases or whatnot, allegedly.
Yeah.
That they were kind of forced to cop out to them, mean take the charge,
right,
when they really didn't want to, just because of the predicament that they're in, either financially or they don't have the time or the money to be up in these courts. So they like, well, I'll just go ahead, and then you got them running around here and they can't get guns or whatnot.
That is so true. This attack on guns, on people's right to guns, is part of the war against men. They are emasculating men and taking away their power and their rights and their freedom in so many ways, including with false accusations or frivolous accusations, let's call it, of so-called domestic violence. That is so sick. Very true.
Well, okay. Let's even look at it like this. All right, so you already had the mama spirit. Oh, you can't have a weapon or whatnot because we feel like you're dangerous or this and this and this and that. Take for granted. I get it. If you out here beating up your mama or your baby mama, and you don't did this on numerous cases that people don't see you do this, and you have a history of beating up your kids' mamas or your girlfriends or whatnot, I understand that.
Put them in jail then.
Put them in jail. Put them in jail. I understand that. Like, you know, we don't support men that beat females or whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather use my mouth than my hands. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I could talk to you versus me putting my hands. And if I can't talk to you and I got to put my hands on you, then I don't need to deal with you.
Right.
Because you sound like a libtard. If you like that, if Art Baby got to get all physical with you, that ain't no alpha female that are trying to deal with. If I got to get physical with you, I'm trying to love you. Long story short, so it's just more so of the mama spirit that let's not let that's my son or that's my daughter. They can't play football because them boys are too rough for them. You got to sit out, son. You can't play this. Or daughter, no, you can't do that or this or that because I don't want you to get hurt. Knowing that, okay, it's a boy. That's naturally what they're going to want to do is run around, scrape their knees, pout about it, then go out there and do the same thing that they just scrape their knees doing. But mama spirit won't let you do that because they don't want to see your legs hurting or whatnot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my
overprotective.
My first thing.
Helicopter parent government.
Helicopter parents, and this goes back into this little Uvalde shooting and all this stuff they keep talking about the gun buyers and taking the guns away. So what do you idiot libtards think is going to happen when you take the dang on guns away? Let's hypothetically, and I'm gonna get up off here after I do this hypothetical.
Okay.
Okay, let's say we hypothetically take all the guns away. All right, well then let's hypothetically say then the next week after we take all the guns away, China's like, well, we want to go to war with you. We're going to be on U.S. soil in 2 days. How in the heck do you think Sleepy Joey B and Corn Pop is going to get all these guns they took away from all the Americans back to them in 2 days?
I know, huh?
Ain't going to be possible. Okay, that's my first point. Second point is, when you have a weapon, it's just like Full Metal Jacket, the movie. If anybody know anything about Full Metal Jacket, the movie, it's a military movie or whatnot.
Yep.
It was drill sergeants. They said you have to sleep with your gun. Your gun is your girlfriend, and that's how you have to be with a gun. You have to be trained on it so you know how to shoot it, you know how it feels, and you're comfortable with having it in your hand in high intense situations. So
right.
You can't just think that when Hake is in a situation where he needs a gun, he just gonna run and grab the gun and execute perfectly. No, Hake has to be familiar with that gun and comfortable with him, and even be in high intense situations where maybe there's some gunfire going back off at Hake. He's not only sending gunfire, but he's taking gunfire, and he knows how to compose himself. This is the thing that they're not understanding about guns. If you don't have them, who the heck is going to protect you?
Right.
You can't call the police.
Yeah, that was a point that I was thinking about with this response time. I was like, wow, Tulsa police responded in 3 to 5 or 6 minutes to the scene of this massacre at the hospital. That's not fast. Yeah. That wasn't fast enough to save those 4 innocent people and 1 guilty, allegedly, person from getting killed.
Yeah.
It wasn't fast enough. We need an armed society is a polite society. Isn't that a line isn't that a word of wisdom? I thought it was.
It is. And something else you said, too. You said when you have people that have guns, the society, it keeps the robbers and the people who want to steal and harm you, it keeps them from wanting to do that because they know that if they do that, there's going to be a potential that Hake is going to protect itself and put them in a situation where they can lose their life. So a lot of stuff can be deterred by guns, but they just keep pushing it because they want to keep pushing this agenda. So
they thrive on crime. They thrive on crime and crisis. The more crisis there is, the more they can swoop in with their false solutions and take more power and play mama and feel good about themselves. So evil.
Yeah. And all in all, they're once again, what I'm saying is they're wasting time. Second of all, they know they're getting us hung up on the same talking point, and we can't get nothing else accomplished. We can't move on unless the plan C so we can get on with the rest of the school year, allegedly.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, and you said something about, dude was talking about you about Nancy Pelosi and be nicer. No, the right, the allegedly we the ultra MAGA. No, we don't talk about kids. See, we don't do what you left liberals do. Y'all want to be out here talking about Donald Trump's kids, and they ain't nothing but 11, 12 years old. No, we don't talk about kids, people under 18. If you over the age and you especially evil like Nancy Pelosi, and you against America, baby, we gonna crack jokes about you in the public and on the Hake show. We're not feeling bad for you. Y'all here talking about people's kids on the left, and you think we gonna have some respect about telling the truth about what Nancy Pelosi looked like? She looked like the Crypt Keeper. That's what it is.
It's true. Good point,
Art.
Yeah.
They got alpha up.
That's a manly logic for Joe in Idaho, our friend Joe in Idaho. Well, thank you, sir.
We don't talk about kids. Yeah. We don't talk about kids,
except for the beta governor's beta baby. He was like 4 or 5 years old, and he was carrying him like he was a baby. We'll talk about him, but mainly talk about the governor. We addressed that on the next one. You said the governor's beta baby, so we'll get on that, but I ain't going to hold you up. I know you got stuff to do. No problem. Art, appreciate your call. Good to hear from you. Have a good weekend.
Catch you later.
All right. Wow. A quick super chat from Brandon M., I believe, on Odyssey, odyssee.com/@the_Hake_report. Before I get back to calls and other things, I have some music coming up. Brandon M. says, Hake, you keep burying degenerate submale Untermensches. I think that means subhumans, submen. That the ADL will be after you for a Hake-cost. Pretty funny, man. Thank you. I guess he's referring... Are you referring to my debates? That's kind. Have you been catching them, Brandon M.? Well, appreciate that. Lots going on. Corlick with the super chat says 65% of juvenile offenders, juvenile offenders tend to own 3 or more illegal weapons and firearms. The people will not be turning in their guns. Wow. Good statistic, Corlick. You can lie with statistics, or you can tell the truth with statistics. Shout out to Corlick. Great point. You know, I mention Dr. John R. Lott Jr. all the time, who also crimeresearch.org. I bet you he has some good statistics readily available. Same guy who wrote about women voting over the past 100 years or so or less. I mean, it was less at the point that he wrote about it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the gun grabbers, including RINO Susan Collins, perhaps is Start Wars, and your calls. Some of you already on hold. There is one line open, 888-775-3773. But now it's time for some music, guys. I know, music is from Satan, especially this music, and I do disavow it, but I shall be sharing it with you. This is from The Hidden Cameras. The title of the song is called A Miracle, but don't listen to the lyrics. Do not. Cover your ears. Do cover your ears, kids. Or leave the room, better yet, right? I know I will. And hang tight and stay tuned for the rest of hour 2, and we will be back in a moment. Just a few minutes here. See you guys. See you soon. Very shortly.
Sent from God, a holy visit. I wake up in the night, what is it? I'm startled and I'm cold, and I believe that I have problems in my dreams. I feel like I'm the only one that can carry your disease. In my head, you are suffering. In my head, you are. In my head, you are suffering. In my head, you are. It brings me flowers that are golden, honey from the bees, and places of blossom in my head, and dresses me. And it tells me that I'm the only one that can carry his disease. I'm made to be an animal by his love and to bear his baby. In my head, you are suffering. In my head, you are. In my head, you are suffering. In my head, you are.
Well, it sounds nice anyway, to me. I disavow hidden cameras. Sounds like Amy Grant. Beautiful voice, says Mead Music. Guitar player is playing guitar like an angel. Let's skip the music today, says Mr. Hectic. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Esoteric says, I've been catching most of Hake's recent debates, but sometimes I just can't stand to listen to those liberal idiots. That's what I'm saying, idiots. Yeah, it's Huntington Beach. The video that I was showing was of Huntington Beach. So, before I get back to calls, I will get back to calls. Hang tight, guys. But first, let me share this more attack, more on the gun grabbers. Susan Collins, this so-called reporter, blue checkmark on Twitter, Mr. Manu Raju, he's a liberal reporter, works for a liberal organization. I forget which one. He reported yesterday, I believe, on Thursday, because Susan Collins was trending on Twitter on Thursday. Senator Susan Collins of Maine. What's up, Maine? What the heck? What the Hake? Susan Collins, RINO senator, she's a female. Shout out to Frankie. Who took part in the bipartisan, meaning evil, gun talks Thursday afternoon, said that evening, we are making rapid progress. Or maybe this was Wednesday evening. We are making rapid progress toward a common sense. That's a buzzword. Common sense means don't go after the guns at all, you evil people. Common sense package that could garner support from both Republicans, meaning RINOs, and Democrats. Some person said it will be weak, and they shared this meme of a musket or this little old school gun compared with an AR-15, you know, one of these fancy dancy guns. Back when the founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment, this is a leftist meme. You know, the left can't really meme. It's true. But here they go trying with too many words. Back when the founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment, guns fired 1 to 3 rounds per minute. Today's AR-15 rifle fires 45 to 60 rounds per minute. If you can have a magazine that holds that many, maybe you could. Maybe fast shooters can do that. Anyway, maybe it's time we stop using 18th century laws to regulate 21st century weapons, says this stupid, and I'm not sorry, kids, but forgive me, I guess, or pardon me. Meme. You know, the liberals. And so I saw somebody responding to them with a, well, actually type of thing, and with some actual knowledge about what was going on back then. Another person pushing memes about muskets, says this guy. Let me introduce you to the puckle gun, a primitive auto cannon invented in 1718. This prototype, never used, was the forerunner of the revolver, 73 years before the Second Amendment was written, which was 1791. Know what else the citizen militias had access to? Cannons, howitzers, etc. What's a howitzer? I don't know. I'm ignorant. Know when the wheel lock gun was invented? Auto spark, 1580. 211 years before the Second Amendment. And that wheel lock gun was quite interesting. I don't know. It looks cool anyway. Know when the first recorded use of a firearm was? 1364. Gunpowder lances used in China in 1132. Wow. China's 1132 lance was a double-barreled lance that automatically fired the second barrel. Too many people think weapons are new. Revolvers were only 44 years after the Second Amendment. If the founders thought it needed to be changed, or the people around 44 years after the Second Amendment, they could have. There was a 3-chamber revolver matchlock pistol dating back to 1548. A 5-barreled musket revolver appeared in China in the 1500s. Pepperbox guns with rotating barrels were around in the 1790s. Remington double-action zigzag revolver, 1861. Wow, these things are kind of crazy looking. Pretty trippy. I'm looking at these interesting old school guns. Look at that. Wow. Where's the trigger? How does it work? These are technological geniuses who make these things. But anyway, tell us again, what weapons do you think were around? These all existed long before or rapidly followed the ratifying of the Bill of Rights. The Constitution of the United States was amended multiple times since then, but never the second, even after these weapons were more advanced and more advanced weapons appeared. But go ahead, post another silly meme. And then he shares a nice boomer meme. You know how the boomers make their memes, or the Gen Xers, with too much text. Anyone using their First Amendment rights on the internet to tell me the Second Amendment only covers muskets because the AR was not invented yet, get off your computer and write me a letter with a quill pen and then have it delivered to my house by some guy on a horse, you know, the Pony Express. And then only then can we have a discussion on why you are wrong. Too many people espouse based boomers. Shout out to the boomers. We love them. We love you. If we love anyone, we love boomers. Too many people espouse ignorance about history, weapons, and arrogantly declare they know what the founders would do today. And they just write off the founders as dumb, evil people, trash people, and slave owners and stuff like that. As if slavery is so wrong compared to the stuff that they do today. They do way worse today than slavery. Including the slavery. Founders who fought a vicious and bloody war for freedom. They specifically thought the Second Amendment was important enough to enunciate separately. Anyway, he goes on and on and on. Right on. And he brings up mental illness, which I think is also not really the issue, because you're just appealing to the secularization of the heart and the mind and the stuff like that, right? Of the way that people live and think. You're secularizing it. They took God out of schools and out of homes, and the men out of homes. And then they took the manhood out of the men. Part of that is taking the guns away from them. Part of it is this subjecting them to the accusation of DV, domestic violence. Part of it is telling them, just rely on the police, who will arrest you if you don't wear a mask. Or who will arrest you if you're accused of DV. Even though it's the woman who's like the aggressor very frequently. What a mess. It's an evil mess. Crazy. Let me get to a first-time caller, Ed, in Torrance, California. Ed, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, James. How are you?
Doing well as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make some comments about the priorities of the leftists and the Democrats these days, because I've seen guards is what I do. I'm in that business doing guard duty.
Oh, okay.
I've seen armed guards around banks. I've seen armed guards at liquor stores. I've seen armed guards at grocery stores. I've seen armed guards at marijuana dispensaries.
Yep.
I've seen armed guards at sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen armed guards at other, outdoor events like concerts and stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's a problem having them at elementary schools.
I know.
I don't get that.
Yeah, they will straw man, scarecrow your argument and say, what, you want to turn schools into maximum security prisons? Well, they're the ones who brought in this diverse, crime-ridden society.
Well, they don't have their kids in they don't have the kids in those particular schools that they're referring to. So
yeah.
It's not their kids.
Yeah, it's true.
As long as it's not their kids, they don't care.
Yeah.
Because your kids aren't as important as their kids.
I know.
As a matter of fact, we're not as important as they are because they have armed security around them.
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Right. I heard I think I heard, or at least read from the Jesse Lee Peterson show that they allow bodyguards to have these great weapons that they want to ban us from having.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yep. When was the last time, I bet it's not very frequent, that an armed so-called mass shooter goes into a place where guns are not banned, where there are guns, armed people? Because it doesn't happen very often. Even at these military bases where there have been mass shootings, they have to check their guns at the place, and they don't get to carry their guns into the premises. So, the Fort Hood shooter, he was in a gun-free zone, I think, by and large.
Yes.
Yep.
where a soldier couldn't carry a sidearm.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
That to me is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, gun-free zones. That's what these guys case it out. Like the. I don't know if you've seen it, but the man that in Buffalo, New York, he cased this market out, and there was video and audio of man that had a conversation with this man the day before he went and did it.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
And
I had heard something about it. I had heard something
Uh-huh.
about him posting on Discord or some social media, supposedly private social media area, that he was looking at these different locations as to where he wanted to conduct his terror attack.
Evil deeds,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy. What a mess.
Well, they're not dumb. You know, it's like this Hinckley. They just let him off for shooting the president.
Yeah.
You know, they know what they're doing. You know, because the spirit inside them is intelligent. You know, it takes them over.
Yeah.
You know, I think the real thing that we need to focus on is this evil spirit that gets in people and how it's transferred and how it works.
Right.
That's the thing we need to focus on. It's not the guns. It's the people.
Yeah.
The people and this spirit that's jumping around and making them do these things.
You know, I've critiqued over the recent days and weeks the massive coverage of these shootings and how they kind of inspire copycat crimes. But if they did coverage, because some of it is interesting, it does happen all over the country, even though these are really local incidents to be handled by the locals, not by the feds. But even though if the mainstream media wants to cover this nationwide, they should bring on men and pastors, which are also men, like Jesse Lee Peterson and others, to bring actual solutions and not these female psychologists to tell mothers to tell their children that they're scared, or to tell female teachers to be scared and all these different things, you know, and push the gun, the tool rhetoric.
Emasculating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of, it's a whole red herring, this whole gun talk.
But there is a method of madness. They do want to disarm us because
I know.
they do want us to be under their thumb, and you can't control an armed population.
And you can't control a moral people. Jesse Lee always says you cannot control a moral people. You have to demoralize them. So he doesn't want, they don't want people happy and free and moral and self-controlled. They don't want that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're specifically against fathers and against families and against decency and honesty. So they don't, of course, they're not going to bring on real people. Anyway, I appreciate it, Ed. It's good to hear from you. Call me again sometime.
Good to hear from you, James. Good to hear you. And I will call again.
Sounds good. Take care. All right. Man. Keith in Illinois on the line. Keith, how are you doing?
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, shout out to everybody that's called in today. I mean, everybody's just been, they're real men. And I just want to give a shout out to the last three guys that call in. I mean, I'm glad to know that, we got real men standing up out there thinking for themselves. So I'm shouting out all the last three guys that called.
Nice. Right on.
I was, watching YouTube, and I saw this, show you how these liberals are. They had on BET Plus, Roku, a message from Breonna. Okay, first of all, dead people have no message. Okay, number one. Okay, so you see how insane that sounds? A message from Breonna? First of all, it's insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Second of all, they had a picture of a 5-year-old girl with a teddy bear. This woman was a grown woman.
Yeah.
That was having sex, that was drinking, getting high, had a thug boyfriend. Okay. Yeah. Had a dead body in her automobile when she turned it back into the where you rent the cars at. And she got fired from the AMTs because she had, a dead body in the car that she rented. Okay. So you hear how insane that sounds. You got people that will fall from this thing says a message from Breonna.
Yeah.
It's just like these people, these Democrats and these liberals are just, I mean, they are mentally, really mentally psychotic, satanically insane.
Right.
I mean, they really are. You remember, what's his name? What's his name? The guy, Martin.
Trayvon Martin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a picture of him when he was 10 years old. He was almost 18 years old.
Right.
Okay. 6 feet tall and almost 18 years old, but you never saw a picture of him, at 18, almost 18 years old. It was only a picture of him at 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, if people fall for this, it's like, so you just have to realize these people are mentally, satanically insane when they fall for this. And you can't tell them nothing because their people are so wrapped up in their emotions that you can't even show them proof of nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I saw this one black guy. I like this guy, Jason Whitlock. I don't know if you're watching that guy. That guy is one of the best. Jason Whitlock.
I've seen him on Tucker Carlson's show.
Yeah, but you need to watch his show. It comes on every day at 6 o'clock Central Time, so I guess it's probably 4 o'clock your time.
This
guy I'm talking about, he is the best. I mean, this guy is the best when he explains to the Democrats, what they do and how they pimp the black community and how the women are on their side based on, like Jesse Lee Peterson say, false power and all that there. So,
right.
So this guy really breaks it down. So you had this young black guy on there, and this young black guy said this. Sure, he's feminized. He said facts and reality don't explain everything. I'm like, huh? Wait a minute, what? He said facts and reality isn't everything. That's ain't nothing but a female mind.
What was his point? What was he trying to say?
He was just trying to say that Jason Whitlock was showing him the facts and the reality of the situation. Facts and reality. This guy said facts and reality isn't everything.
Oh.
Strange. That's not a feminine mind.
It sounds like it.
Yes, I'm just saying that's what we're dealing with. These young men been raised by their mamas, their aunts, their grandmamas, and all these, feminine women, the teachers and all these people, and they just feminine minded, and that's why we're having such a hard time. Because this was devised by the Democrats and liberals. It's called social engineering. I mean, it's been going on for decades. But, I just want to bring out the fact that I saw that Breonna thing, a message from Breonna. I'm like, oh, my God, man.
Yeah.
So I just had to bring that up to show you how twisted these minds of these people are. We already know it. And, but I just want to say that. And then thanks for letting me speak. And shout out to, everybody been calling. Everybody sound really good calling in today. And I hope we can, we got to stand up, though. You know what I'm saying? We got to. Why are we not protesting against all these high gas prices? Why are we not, there's still too many men standing down, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. I think that we've bred cowardice.
Yeah, we need to have a 10 million man march. Listen, 10 million men need to show up in Washington and say no more feminization. You're not taking our guns. You're not doing nothing. We need to protest like that. How come all these old radical lesbian feminine women can show up at a march, and then we don't show up at a march? When is that going to happen?
I don't know. I don't know if marching might be a nice statement. It might be a nice statement, but we need more than just marching.
That's all I'm saying. It's just to show the world that we're united, that they can't keep divided. Men need to stand up. I'm serious, man. Not that old, what's his name, had that 1 million man march. All he did was collect money and then nothing changed. Things got worse. Things got worse. He passed the basket out, and black men got worse off than they ever were. I ain't talking about that kind of march. Ain't nobody collecting no money.
I know.
We just need to stand up there speaking and saying what's going on and stand up for, America, stand up for men. I'm just saying, man, maybe this message can get out. That's why I had to say it. It just needs to happen. That's all.
Well, I appreciate it, Keith. By the way, as far as promoting other shows, don't promote other shows on my show.
All right.
I do appreciate the man that you mentioned, but Anchor Baby's show is important on Fridays. That is Nick Stream on 4 p.m. today, 4 p.m. Pacific. But thank you again, Keith. It's good to hear from you.
Thanks a lot. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye. Wow. What a mess. Bond network supremacy. Indeed. Nick's stream on YouTube. 4 p.m. today, guys. I want to get to Kaya in Texas. She is on the line. Kaya, how are you doing?
Hey, James, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well as well. Thank you.
Amazing. So I'm beating a dead horse with this whole shooting situation, but Eric King Drop mentioned something that I kind of started to theorize or overthink years ago when I was still like into conspiracies and all that. But did you ever just consider that the people that are going and doing these shootings are like pawns, and they're chosen to do it for the purpose of mass hysteria and fear mongering and ultimately, you know, possibly taking our weapons away? And the reason I ask is because when these things happen and there's all these alleged victims, within a year or two, you never hear anything about them. There's no like 60-minute special catching up with the family and seeing how life has changed since, you know, the shooting happened and all this emotional.
Unless they have an agenda, because there are some so-called family members of victims who have this anti-gun agenda or whatever, who get used as tokens.
Yeah, you're right.
But you're right. And then there is one pro-gun guy who is being used by the Republican Party, who was at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. But I think even he got in trouble for flippantly saying the N-word or something like that, and it was funny. But you're right.
It always seems fake in a way.
Well, people and drama is fake, even if the event is real. I do, in a sense, they are all pawns of evil. And you'll notice that both great minds think alike, and so do dark minds think alike. Or, you know, there is a lot of so-called diversity of thought. There are many paths to be evil, but there is an anti-Second Amendment, anti-man, anti-decency, anti-truth cult in America, and it seems to be like, I don't know, is it a third of the country, or is it more than that? Is it 81 million voters? But it does, I wouldn't put it past the feds to groom people and encourage them and try to entrap whites, for example, or Christians or conservatives to drum up this threat of extremist right-wing violence, you know? Because most of the political violence and murderousness is from liberals. It's just is.
No, it is.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't like to speculate about particular instances unless we have proof, you know.
Yeah, no, I used to go down
suspicious.
a lot of rabbit holes about it, and I read about crisis actor. Nowadays I don't, because now I just stay present.
Nice.
But when Eric mentioned that, I was like, man, I have contemplated that, specifically when the Sandy Hook thing happened, because before that, there was a few things. Like there was that Asian kid in Virginia that shot up the school.
Virginia Tech.
2 black guys.
Yep.
Yeah, there was the 2 black guys that were shooting people outside of the trunk of their car.
Is that D.C.? Was that the D.C. snipers?
I think it was D.C. It was 2 guys, though, and they turned out to be black.
Yeah.
And they were shooting people from the trunk of their car.
Wow.
And things like that. And then there was the Columbine when we were growing up. Remember, there was Columbine.
Yeah.
And when that happened, everything changed at school. We had to start wearing, like, school IDs. You weren't allowed to wear trench coats anymore and all these, things that were supposed to be protecting us.
Yeah, the trench coat mafia.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to wear those. But I went to high school in Texas. We had police officers on our campus.
Yeah.
So although there were fights and things like that, that was as bad as it would get. But the other thing that's amazing, I listened to a clip from Joe Biden. Is that his name? Yeah, the president. And he was, I forget his name, he was saying that it's the Second Amendment is a constitutional right, but essentially he's saying it can change. But then if you look at Roe v. Wade, the thing they're trying to push is, it's not right. This will be the first time that a constitutional right has been altered. And they're trying to make it like that is so wrong that they'll alter such a law. But when it comes to gun laws, he's shouting that out like, oh, well, yeah, it's the Second Amendment, but it can be changed.
Yeah.
But for Roe v. Wade to change, it's like, it's an abomination to the law. It's
Good point.
Double-sided.
It is. They are never consistent, and it's a cheap gotcha on liberals to accuse them of hypocrisy, but it is accurate, and perhaps it can awaken people to realize that they're not honest, they're not decent, they're not trustworthy, period. And don't go along with them at all.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'm going to tell you is just kind of something funny. So I work at a restaurant, and I'm 10 to 15 years older, because I'm 36, so I'm older than most people that I work with.
Okay.
The men that I work with, it is mind-blowing to see the mother spirit and the beta nature that so many young men have nowadays.
Yeah.
To where, everything is an emotional, complaining, go along to get along sort of spirit. The other day I wasn't feeling well, and I asked my manager, hey, if I leave, how's that going to affect us for the rest of the night? Will we be fine? Will we have enough servers? And he was more concerned about, quote unquote, my mental health, which I wasn't feeling mentally ill. I had a stomachache, and he was like, well, I'm more concerned about your mental health than the business needs. And I said, well, I'm telling you, I'm more concerned about the business needs. So if you could just tell me, is it urgent that I stay or go? And he wouldn't answer the question.
Wow.
He was just like, your mental health matters. And I was like, is this a joke?
That reminds me of that. I don't know if you heard the Project Veritas clip. I might have played it last week or so, where the culture at Twitter is, if you're not feeling it, you can take a week or a day or
that's crazy.
Months.
Yeah, that's how it is
off.
at my job.
That is so shameful.
People come in crying at work, and they'll get coddled, and they'll be able to switch their position. Like if you're a server, but you're just not wanting to talk to people that day, they'll let you go and host.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? What happened? But I know what happened, but I still, it's still just mind-blowing to see it, because I work with like 30, young people, and the beta spirit is just, it's amazing.
What a shame.
So,
no wonder we're so soft.
Yeah.
No wonder people are so ready to give up their rights.
Yeah,
Man.
It is mind-blowing. But, I just go and try to keep my eyes on myself, because as soon as I start really paying attention to their behavior, then obviously I'm getting into judging and, over-talking, trying to get them to see my point, and I'm not there for that.
True.
But sometimes I just sit back and go, wow, wow. It's crazy. But that's all I had. I just want to chat about that and kind of get your 2 cents. But I won't get on the conspiracy road, because I know that's not really cool either. But
no problem.
I kind of wondered that.
In many cases, the conspiracy theorists have been proven right. So you don't you don't reject everything they say for either.
The conspiracy theorist in me did help me wake up in 2020 when I was really getting into that BLM stuff and really getting upset.
Right.
And the more I started looking into it, the more I was like, wait a minute, this is orchestrated. This is fake rage. This is,
right.
And so it did help me in that regard, but I don't spend too much time on it now, because then I'm thinking, and then I'm, doing a little bit extra judging ultimately. So anyways. All right. Well, it's nice to chat with you, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Great call, Kaya. Take care.
All right. Take care. Thanks, James. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. It only takes a little bit of truth, I think, sometimes. People get hooked. Let me quickly get to Joe in Idaho is on the line. Joe, how are you doing?
Hey.
I'm
doing well. How
nice.
You doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
I just want to let you know I have reversed my opinion regarding speaking about older people and how they look when they get old.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You and your callers have convinced me to reverse my decision.
Is that because of peer pressure, or is it because of why?
I just thought about it and changed my mind.
So over the yesterday and the day before, or whenever it was, you called the show saying it's great to disagree with Nancy Pelosi, for example, politically, and her points are all stupid. She's evil, and she's a woman. She doesn't belong in office. I think you agree she's evil. But but don't mock old people for looking old and being old. But now you're fine with mocking the old people for looking old and decrepit, especially if they're political enemies and spiritual enemies.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that. I mean, I agreed with it before in private.
Right. That's true, because you said that you among the guys, would talk about people plainly. Chris says, Chris says, welcome to the winning side.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice.
Yeah, tell him to get a haircut.
Ouch. He says no.
And go to the gym. And tell him to go to the gym, too.
He says, what? You want to get on here, Chris? I think you crossed the line,
Bruh. Go to the gym? Bruh. Bruh, how much can you bench?
How much can I bench?
Yeah.
Probably 2 of you.
What?
He says
At
2 of
least
you.
2 of you.
2 of me? You can bench over 300 pounds?
Oh, yeah. I mean, heck yeah.
I don't believe you.
No, I can actually bench about 210, I think, 215, somewhere around there.
All right, that's decent.
It's respectable, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I weigh 210, and you should be able to bench what you weigh.
Oh, you weigh 210?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6.
6 foot straight? 6 foot even?
6 feet?
6 feet.
6 foot definitely straight.
You're 6 foot flat.
You're not fat at all?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, a little bit, but no.
You're a little bit fat vegan. Do you eat bread? Oh, no, you're not vegan.
Yeah.
You're vegetarian. Or are you vegan?
No, I'm vegan. And yes, I do eat bread.
Is that why you're fat? A little bit? Just a touch.
I wouldn't say, I mean, when I say a little bit.
You have some fat on you.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily obese because you got a lot of muscle with that.
Nobody would ever look at me and describe me as fat.
Okay.
Are you jacked?
But a little bit.
But not cut.
Are you shredded, bro?
I wouldn't say I'm shredded, no.
Well, obviously, if you're describing yourself as mildly fat.
I mean, I look like someone who lifts. But,
right.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Very good.
How much, not to expose your private information, but how much do you bench?
225.
Okay.
And how much do you weigh? Let me guess, 110?
Are you serious? He just said.
Are you not watching the video?
When you doubled his
clearly
weight
you are. You
to
know how long my
300
hair
pounds, you know he weighs at least 150 pounds because you doubled his weight to 100. Why would you guess 110? Are you trolling him?
He's trying
I'm joking around.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to get me riled up because I called him old.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought guys joke around with each other.
Yes,
like that,
yes.
That's what I'm doing.
He weighs more than 110.
We're just yucking it up here.
Yeah.
No,
So what do you
I don't
like,
know. I
160,
haven't weighed myself in a
170?
long time. I would imagine around 175 if I had to guess. I really don't weigh myself.
And not to dox your height, but you're roughly 6 foot.
Yes, I'm also 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get to the gym. Start lifting more. I mean, you're young, but
225 is not too bad. What were you at your best, at your prime, Joe?
25% body fat, I bet.
What was I at my best? You mean in terms of how much I could bench?
Yeah.
Probably about, not much more, probably like maybe 235.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conveniently just above what I can bench.
Yeah, I mean, he's like Bruce Lee. He's lean and functional. I mean, that's not 225 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. You could put that in your personal ad. You're lean and functional.
I do.
Good. I'm
Nice.
sure you
I hope it's in your dating profile as well.
Man, crazy.
It is.
That's funny.
Anyway, I'm just joking around with you, Chris. I hope that's okay.
That's quite all right, Joe.
And also, I don't know if the gyms are open in LA for the free man. Maybe they are. But anyway.
I lived at a friend's house.
Nice.
I don't mess around with those gyms anymore.
Yeah, I only use the gyms for the jacuzzi anyway, and the showers.
Why don't you like gyms?
I don't know. I like doing stuff at home. I was always a homemade fit guy back when I was fitter and not fatter. But anyway, I appreciate it, Joe. Good to hear from you. Take care.
All right, take it easy.
All right, bye. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. So, wow. Okay, before I get back to calls, I have to share this Star Wars mess before I get to Super Chats as well. Here's this clip, 13. I mean, I don't know if this even matters, honestly. So let me plow through it fast. This is from Star Wars Twitter. Cringe. A personal message from Ewan McGregor. I'm probably mispronouncing it. The actor who, in the early 2000s, and I guess again recently, apparently, played one of the main characters from the original Star Wars movies in some remake or some new fan fiction type movies, right? So here's a famous actor. Okay, so, hello, over there, can you hear me? Hello, is that the camera that's picking me up right now still? Yeah. Okay. Hello, guys! It's Star Wars! I mentioned Star Wars and the whole thing crashes. What a mess. Anyway, Star Wars was calling out race. Knowledge. Contrary to common knowledge, Moses Ingram is a woman, a female. Moses is supposed to be a male name. It feels like I'm actually there. Hake in a tin can. I know. Press 2 if you ever don't hear me. If my audio cuts out. Press 2 if my audio cuts out, guys. Okay. Okay, we should be back. So, Star Wars is acting all fancy. Acting all, George Lucas said cut. George Lucas, not a Christian, by the way. He said, shut it down. Hake talking crap. Sorry, kids. About Star Wars because they're anti-racist, which means anti-white. Moses Ingram is a black female actress. And Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, is all over this. And Moses Ingram, this black actress, stars apparently alongside Ewan McGregor from Trainspotting, whatever that druggy movie is. He also played in Star Wars, right? Okay, so here is this personal message. The White Knight coming to save the day for the black female who's under attack on social media. Racism against the POC actors. So-called people of color, because we hate white people having issues. Listen to this.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say a big thank you. And it just goes to show what this family can do when we all pull together. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman. And she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series. She brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world.
Shut up.
And I totally stand with Moses.
That's kind. He's standing by his complainer woman, a black female complainer woman. How would he know about so-called racist DMs unless she's sharing them? Because DMs are direct messages, private messages on social media. So a complainer woman complains about the fans who are mocking her and making fun of her, allegedly. And who knows who's doing that? Did he say he was sick to his stomach and his heart broken? What is that guy? It's not the first time they cried racism against people on social media, which is we the people, the freedom of speech of the people. What happened to the free press, social media, social free press, freedom of the press, baby, baby, baby. But unfortunately, too much of the so-called free world is not for actual freedom. To be indecent, if indeed some people are being indecent. Don't go harass Moses Ingram. Ms. Moses Ingram, guys. That's my due diligence. We totally love Moses Ingram, even though I've never heard of her, and I'm probably not going to watch any Star Wars mess. Back in 2014, they also cried racism. Star Wars Episode 7 actor John Boyega. I have a few headlines just to show from, let's see, I think I do. Star Wars racism. John Boyega. Remember this? Black Stormtrooper? I thought the Stormtroopers were clones of this one guy. I don't know. But, I'm not that big of a fan that I know this stuff. But this guy, he was black, and then he was all into this Asian actress who was in the Star Wars. But he called out racism. And then, okay, so that's 6 years ago, or 8 years ago, 2014, right? And then 2020, John Boyega calls Disney out for marketing a black character only to ultimately push him aside. They're never happy. You hire them, and then you're like, thank you for your service. We part ways. And then he turns around and complains, even though they gave him a great opportunity, but he's sour grapes that they didn't give him more. Typical? I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it, but I will. I do want to say it. Typical black complainer. Typical black complainer. Not all blacks are complainers, guys. But it's all too common, is it not? 2018, it's not just the blacks, too. It's the Asians. Asian females, specifically, some of the worst. The educated ones. 2018, Star Wars. I'm pronouncing it the Spanish way. Spanglish. Star Wars actress Kelly Marie Tran says she's started to believe trolls who pushed her off social media. She got pushed off social media because she couldn't handle. She was getting marginalized by online harassment, and so much so that she wrote a New York Slimes article. She wrote an article in the New York Slimes, affirmative actioned her, and said, "I won't be marginalized by online harassment or harassment." The actress deleted her Instagram posts this summer in response to online harassment. She speaks now for the first time. It wasn't just their words, it's that I started to believe them. Meaning she's insecure. 2021, the Hollywood Reporter, is that what it is? Cover, I guess it's a magazine, right? Kelly Marie Tran on surviving. The melodrama, surviving Star Wars bullying. She was bullied, I guess, on the internet, and she survived it. Oh, congratulations. The pressures of representation. You know, because the Asians feel like they have to represent all Asians, and the women feel like they have to represent all women, and the blacks feel like they have to represent all blacks, and all other mess. After intense, what does this say? After intense racist and sexist online trolls caused the actress to close up shop, Kelly Marie Tran emerged stronger and surer of who she was. Apparently, she was a Star Wars actress, too. What does marginalized mean, asks Malkuth X. That means we push you to the margins. You're not the main point. You're not even in the body of the paragraph. You're just a marginal note. I think that's what marginalized means. You're not even allowed to be on social media. You're not even allowed to have an internet website hosted by an American or many other foreign outlets. That's what marginalized means. Marginal is one of the most marginalized men I know of is this Andrew Anglin guy who has a website called Daily Stormer, and it's been like kicked off of the internet in so many different places. Rwandan pride. Rwanda is the last bastion of free speech in America for the whites. I'm shaking my head. Let me get to a super chat or two, guys. Brandon M. states his double chin wouldn't smack his neck if he could bench more than 215. Sorry, Brandon M. I didn't realize that is a reference to our caller, the ribbing of our caller, Joe from formerly PDX, Portland, and he moved to Idaho. 215 isn't good, Brandon M. says. Dang. I told you guys I benched about 200, plus or minus. Anyway, let's move on from that. But anyway, if you comprehended that statement Brandon M. said, just to reiterate with the super chat, his double chin wouldn't smack his neck if he could bench more than 215 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilograms for you foreigners. Do the Brits do kilograms too? Have they forsaken the British system? Hopefully not. Best Kisser Bibby42 with the super chat says, just wanted to wish you all a great weekend. Awesome show, Hake. See y'all at church. Also, pucker up, ladies. Whoa. That's a bit forward. Best Kisser Bibby42, but thank you. Asmodor mocks the notion of us all, 10 million men march, although we do appreciate Keith in Illinois or whatever. We got to march like the left does. What could go wrong? That's a good point. And he was saying that sarcastically, marching like the left does. And, some of the people rioted. The left rioted, and riots work because the left got away with rioting and they got their way. Therefore, let's riot. No. The establishment is with the extreme left, okay? They're with them. The establishment is not for the right or the decent people, for men, for Christians, for whites. Every time you march and protest and make a thing, they will be out to smear you. There will be subverters out to make wrong things happen, and there will be liars to lie about the incident and smear you and not tell the truth about what's going on. You look at the last time we marched, the Charlottesville situation, the Unite the Right rally, falsely smeared the whites. The January 6th Patriots protest on behalf of election integrity and our greatest president that I can think of, it did not go well, right? Nice. Briefly, I got to get to Blazing Hogs from Dayton, Ohio, the sundown town. How are you doing, Mr. Knight Rider Blazing Hogs?
Hola,
hey.
Sí, señor. Sí.
Indeed.
Hey, well, I'm 6'6", I weigh 270. I don't know what I can bench lately. It's been 15 years since I've done it, but my shovel game is strong. I can go anywhere from 1 pound to 50 pounds with the shovel.
Nice. And you can lift a hog.
Oh, Lord.
A strong farmer.
That cracks me up. Dudes calling in wanting to question you guys about that stuff.
Yeah.
Anywho, social media and censorship. I've been trying to get into you to talk about this. They're really, they can pull the trigger and shut your show down or Jesse's show down, at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. Or
Alex Jones or any type of conservative out there that posts anything on social media.
True.
But you got like kid porn people and live killings and posts that are on Facebook, and it takes them 3 days to take that down.
Yep.
I don't understand, because there was that kid, the shooter, he posted, whatever it was, hour before he went, that he killed his grandmother on Facebook.
Yeah.
And down in Louisiana, it was back in, I don't know, March or February, but an illegal black, he beat and stabbed this white girl. He had her tied to the steering wheel naked and stabbed her for over 40 minutes on Facebook Live. And they didn't find him till like 48 hours later.
That is wild.
But it was on Facebook Live. Nobody never shut it down. But you say something about, January 6th or vaccine or anything like that, boom.
Yeah.
I mean, they're quick on you.
Very
How
true.
is that? This is what they want.
It is.
They want destruction. They want all that mess going on.
Yeah.
They want these kids out here doing this just so that they can get all the power they want.
Yeah, the social media establishment is just as bad as the mainstream media, if not perhaps worse, and the government. They're all it's commie capitalism. They're all on the same side against the people, the decent people. And the indecent people. They're not for anybody, really. They're not for what's right.
No,
Yeah.
it's total destruction, but people still think like they have some good to them. They don't. They want this.
Yeah.
That's why what's acceptable and what's not, and what they turn a blind eye to, and what they throw red flags at. But who's going to come and confiscate the guns, Hake? Where's the job applications for that job?
I know. I don't envy the cops who willingly violate the constitutional rights of the people, nor do I envy the people. It's evil
That's
against
what I
evil.
mean.
Yeah.
It's going to take an army to come and take guns. You just ain't going to have like a peace officer come, hey, yeah, I hear you got 7 registered guns, so I'm here to collect them.
They're more likely to do it little by little, by just chip away. They never stop, nor should we, fighting for what's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
But nobody asked that. Well, how are you going to confiscate the guns, Joe?
Yeah. Well, take care, Blazing Hogs. Great to hear from you, man.
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir. Have a great weekend. Later.
Bye. Thank you, guys. This has been the Hake Report, the Fallen State, coming right up here. And we have Nick's stream today. Nick's stream on YouTube, anchorbabytips.live, is an easy web address to remember. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, always excellent. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. The silent prayer is on that page. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.